You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we'll talk about where the Bulls are going to open their season and a couple of more details that have come out about their schedule. Lastly, the Bulls have made another signing to a camp deal, and we got an update on Justin Lewis's injury. We'll get into all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls. That's Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central. My brother, we know where the Bulls are going to open up their season at. They're going to open it up on the road against Miami on October 19th. What do you think about the Bulls facing a pretty decent test to start the season off?
You know what? I hope it's a little more balanced of a schedule this year. I feel like it was just so much one direction to start the season and then so much the other direction to finish the season. I feel like with a little bit more balanced schedule, you end up getting more opportunity to kind of, if you go through injury, right, it allows for ebbs and flows in your season. I like the matchup early. I do. I think that it's a matchup that the Bulls can set the tone on the season. They can come out with a bang. They can I just feel like they really can start the season off with, hey, we're here, and this ain't Detroit. Like, we're legitimately here. This is a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference when it's all said and done, and we're showing y'all what you're up against. So I really feel like that's a good start to the season for the Bulls.
I feel exactly where you're coming from. Like, I do like that they face the test early. I do like that they start the season off, and like you said, hopefully it's a little bit more balanced. We started off very early in the season last season with a fairly easy schedule. It got tough. Then the last 10 games were all against playoff teams, so hopefully it is a little bit more spaced and stretched out. But at the end of the day, like, the Bulls need to show up against the bigger competition. Yeah. And that's regardless of where it is on the schedule. I hope that the Bulls have a better showing, and we'll get to see how many nationally televised games they have. But, playing out on the road against Miami, against Jimmy Butler, I always like seeing the Bulls play against Jimmy Butler. There's a little pettiness in my genes. Petty Roosevelt is a thing. But the Bulls' home opener then is 3 days later against the Cleveland Cavaliers, bro. What do you think about that matchup?
Listen, you're getting 2 tests early, right? We'll get to see right off of the bat if the Bulls got better inside. We already know what Cleveland's coming with. That combination of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley is a deadly one inside. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see, right? Like, hey, is Patrick Williams and Andre Drummond and Vooch enough to go up against that? By the way, can Marko Simonovic find his way into that lineup and start to add in some size in there as well? I think that's going to be a huge test early on to see kind of what the Bulls need moving forward, right? Like, it's not indicative of how the season's going to go, but I think if you see them come out and get absolutely dominated inside, like we saw at times last year, where Vooch is down there grabbing rebounds over 7 people, 2 refs and a dog. Yeah, then it's like we might still be in a little bit of trouble here, but and I think what it is too, like we both talked about, I think you more so than me, that Billy Donovan's scheme has to adjust more. He has to make some quicker adjustments. Listen, you got some teams early on that you're going to have to adjust to quickly, right? Like, they're going to come out with a different game plan, and you're going to have to make some adjustments. So I think we're going to find out kind of who this Bulls team is early on in the season, very much like we did last season.
Yeah. Do you think these are the first 2 games? Or do you think there's going to be another road game in between Miami and Cleveland?
I would see. Here's the thing, too, right? And I feel like it's something that was very talked about. That's probably not the right way to say that. Not talked about enough last season. If the NBA, forgot we was on Locked On. If the NBA screws us over with, I was about to go real Chicago right there. Yeah, with the travel schedule again, like, the Bulls need to make a call. Because it was last year we were playing 5 games in 7 nights or something like that. Yeah. And we went from like California to Texas to Milwaukee to Miami. And then I think we played Orlando at home. or vice versa, something like that, right? And so it's like who came up with this travel schedule? Like, I get there on airplanes and stuff like that, but it's very back to back to back to back. And so my hope is that our travel schedule at a minimum lines up a little bit better for us this season. And I'm hoping, right, like, because you would say Miami, who would be in between there? Maybe we play the Pacers in between there or something, and then you go home. I feel like that's a good mix of games.
All right, fair enough. Or maybe Detroit, something like that.
Detroit.
Yeah, something like that. The one thing that I do want to say in this, bro, is that when this schedule gets released at 3 p.m., is that
2 p.m. CST.
It's 2 p.m. CST. I was talking Eastern time because that's the time zone that I live in. Forget Central. With that being said,
and you're going to forget the division we're in, brother. Divisions matter.
Bro, you didn't even know the names of the divisions 3 months ago.
I still don't know. I swear I can't name all 5 of them right now. It's 5, right?
So
Eastern Western Conference.
Once the schedule takes shape, and really get a chance to look at it, you'll get a lot of the predictions at that point, like strength of schedule, stuff like that, which is always weird in the NBA because you play every team in the NBA, right? You play every team. Right. But so looking at how the matchups work out, like, and even then, when you start the season, you don't know who's necessarily going to be a playoff team. You can think you know who's going to be a playoff team, but that can change very much so on. So, like, I hope just whatever the schedule works out, however it works out, I hope that it's nationally televised games on that schedule. That's my biggest thing, bro. And I know that that's something that doesn't matter in a degree. No, the Bulls still have to play, but we're the 3rd largest media market in the world, and I want to see that paid respect to. Now, the Bulls, to a degree, for a long time haven't operated as a big market team either, but you want to see that represented in when you see, and we talked about it a little bit on yesterday's episode. Like, you get teams that, the Knicks are the biggest market in the world, and I get that. I understand that, but they suck, right? They suck. The Knicks are trash. Everything about the Knicks and their fan base is trash. I said it. If you got a problem, you can at me. But with that being said, it's trash. So I want to see some respect paid toward the Chicago Bulls. But with that being said, they need to show up as well. So I'm going to ask you this, Pat. I'm just going to present this question to you. Are the TNT Bulls back next season?
You know what? Yeah, because all season they weren't on TNT. And yet they were on TNT, right? Like, we heard about Charles Barkley talking about how DeMar DeRozan's been killing it, and how Zach LaVine's one of his favorite players, and how they really like what they see from Ayo Dosunmu. Like, you would hear about the Chicago Bulls almost every other TNT.
Yeah.
But they just weren't playing on it. So I do think the Bulls will be back this year on TNT. I mean, what do we get? We got a couple ESPN games. That's about it, right? Yeah, I'll turn the question back on you, right? Like, will we fare better in those national games this season? Because the national games last year, did we win one?
We won one.
I think the Boston one. No,
that wasn't nationally televised.
The Clippers game.
Was it Clippers?
I think it was the Clippers comeback, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Was the Clippers comeback?
I'm not even going to act like I
Let us know in the comments below if you remember. I don't.
Some keyboard warrior is going to be in there letting us know something. With that being said, I think the Bulls are going to fare better. I think that they know the stigma around them. And one of the things that we're hearing as well, I don't know if you got to see Adam Amin's interview on CHGO, but he talked about how, like, from what he knows about Zach is not just going to be a player that gets the money and settles at being paid, but he's going to be one that takes that and carries that and say, hey, now I need to put on and play better and perform better because now I'm to earn that money. So I do think the Bulls are going to show. They know the stigma. They heard the stigma in the conversation around them last year and how they did in against key teams. Don't be surprised if the Bulls come out next season with a playoff atmosphere type vibe to just prove it early in. Hey, listen, no, we're beating the better teams this season.
I would agree with you. I think the scary part that comes in on that is, do you get burnt out quickly with that mentality, right? Like, you're going at it. We're going for it. We're going playoff mentality. We're going as hard as we can right now. Then you get halfway through the season and you're exhausted because you've tried to dominate everybody every single night. And it's an 82-game season, right? Like, I think that's I
think it'll calm down at some point, though, it'll calm down. But I think early in the season, they're going to be out to prove that. They're going to be out to prove it.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
We'll see. Hopefully, they get off to a great start to this NBA season. Before we go, last question I'm just going to present to you about the schedule. Not really the schedule itself, but just throw at you. Who scores the most points in the Bulls opening game?
Zach LaVine. You know,
going 30 piece?
Nah, I'm gonna stick with Zach LaVine. I had a hot take, but I think that might be a little too hot. You know, like that's like.
Were you about to say Patrick Williams?
Yeah, I was about to say Patrick Williams because I feel like there's going to be this is my thing, and I know a lot of Bulls fans in here right now. What's he talking about? He don't take shots. AK picked Patrick Williams. Billy Donovan was in the room for the pick of Patrick Williams, right?
Yeah.
AK wants him to succeed. AK wants him to play. He wants him to play.
No,
well.
I take that back.
Was Billy Donovan not there? That's what I was trying to remember.
Billy Donovan was he in the room?
Billy Donovan was there. He was there.
You're right. He was there.
Boylan first year brought in Billy Donovan. Yeah. So I feel like AK and Billy are gonna say, this is our guy. And we want him to be the next superstar in the NBA. So I think there's going to be an effort of let's get him some more shots. Let's have him attack a little bit more. But I think that hot take's a little bit too high. That's like when you order the fajita sizzler plate up at any Mexican restaurant, and that mug come out like popping you in the eye still. Yeah, that was a little too hot.
I'm going on record, though. DeMar and Zach combined for 55 points. I don't know who scores the most. Zach and DeMar combined for 55 points in the opening game.
Okay.
That's what I'm going on record for.
I like it.
All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to move in. Before we get into
I don't know why I went Denzel Washington right there. Okay.
Before we get into the second topic of today, I got to talk to you about a message from NHTSA Impaired Driving. You're hanging out with some friends and putting back a few drinks. A few becomes a few too many. As the evening comes to an end and the people start to head out, you think of calling a ride. Nah, you live nearby. You can make it home okay. It's no big deal. What are the odds you'll get pulled over anyway? And even so, what's the worst that can happen? Your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you lose your job, you total your car, you kill someone? Everyone knows about the risk of drunk driving. The results are tragic and often deadly. However, that still doesn't stop everyone from getting behind the wheel while under the influence. That's why police officers are out there right now looking for impaired drivers on the roads to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Play it safe and plan ahead to get a ride. It only takes one mistake to change a life or someone else's life forever. Drive sober or get pulled over. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. So we got we got a signing and then an update on Justin Lewis. The Bulls have officially signed Carlik Jones to a camp deal. Now, this is over Javon Freeman Liberty as well, as I may point out, but Carlik Jones balled out in Summer League. So I feel like he earned that. What do you think about Carlik Jones signing that camp deal?
I'm pretty sure I was trashing Carlik Jones the entire preseason, not because he was playing bad. Or I'm sorry, the entire Summer League, not because he was playing bad, but because I wanted to see the guys we drafted play well. And he kept taking shots. Now, granted, he kept making them.
Yeah.
But I was like, bro, like, I don't want to see you score. Like, I'm not expecting you to be on this team. So I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting to me, right? This is just a camp deal, but I think it's very interesting seeing as how Malcolm Hill has not yet signed his deal. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is just we need guys in here that are going to be competitive, that are going to make guys work, that are going to, get the juices flowing and keep camp high. Or if this is hey, we don't know if Malcolm Hill is actually going to sign this deal. We need to start getting guys in here that understand the system already and are ready to go just in case, right? Just in case. So I think it could be a little bit of both here. But I'm not mad at Carlik Jones's game. I think he's a good scoring guard. I think it's another guard. So like, do we really need him? Was he 6'4", 6'3"?
6'4" sounds about right.
I think he's 6'4", something like that. So he's not a tall guard. I think he's a nice player. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't really move the needle for me one way or the other.
The way I look at it is he's replacing Devin Dotson. That's just the way that I look at it.
Oh yeah, because he signed on
And we were both wrong.
Washington's.
Carlick Jones is 6'1". And we were both wrong. Carlick Jones is 6'1".
I was giving him credit. I did that like age right there. Like how we be messing the age up by like 5-6 years. I did that. I gave that man an extra. Never mind. That was I was almost a flag on the play. Anyway,
pause for thoughts. Pause for thoughts.
Hey. But no, I agree with you. That's the perfect estimation of it. He'll be Devon Dotson. He'll be on the Windy City Bulls. They got to field a team as well. So I think that's pretty much what that'll end up being.
Another guard though. Like what is it? What like another guard?
I don't know. I mean, in theory, right? Like I would love a team of forwards. Because it's a small ball league, right? Like forwards at least can play both positions. I don't know why we keep getting so many guards. Like our entire roster is guards, and now our G League roster is going to be nothing but guards.
You got to have guards to back up the guards for the guards.
You got guards to back up the forwards. Heck, last year you had guards to back up the center. So I don't know, dog. I really don't. I mean, I guess listen, right? There is an advantage if you got to get out and run. You've got guys on this team that are fast. You got guys on this team that are shifty. I don't think Carlick Jones makes the real roster by any stretch of the imagination, but you've got a lot of guys on this team that can attack the rim, can be quick, can be shifty, can get downhill. Those are things that you like, especially if you're playing in a small ball lineup because you don't expect to hold that ball for too long.
Yeah. I mean, it's another guard. I mean, shout out to Carly. He did ball out. He balled out.
I think the thing is, right, like, who would you go after? Like, who's on your list right now of, like, guys that you want to put on a camp deal?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's a camp deal to me is we need a competitive camp.
This is true.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that is also a camp deal is basically a segue to be like, you're about to be on the G League team, but we want to bring you in here for practice. So you can probably push, you know what? Maybe he's going to be push Dalen Terry. Maybe he's going to push whoever. Just keep trying to score on them every time you touch the ball.
Every time down the floor. Just kill that dude.
Yeah.
And listen, the funny thing is some dudes that can do that.
That's true. This is true. This is very true. But another update that we got is Justin Lewis. We speculated, like it had initially said, they fear he tore his ACL. Then it was worked as a severe knee injury. Well, it turns out he did officially tear his ACL. He will be getting surgery in the coming weeks. I know we touched on this a little bit, but now that it's been made official that it is actually a torn ACL, he will be getting surgery. Do you think the Bulls pull his two-way contract? Do you think they keep him on it and just ride it out?
You got to pull it, right? I mean, it sucks to say it like that, but I feel like you have to pull it. Because now I don't know how binding that is because he signed his two-way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if because he signed it, he has to remain on it, if you can remove him from it. But if that option is available, I would think you have to pull it because you need players that can go back and forth. That's the whole point of the two-way deal. You need players that can go to the NBA and can go down to the G League.
Technically, you need it if you have injuries. Maybe the Bulls are looking at it. I'm not saying they may not cut it, but just to offer a counterpoint, maybe they keep him on it and say, hey, unless we go through a period where like last year where we just did not have health at all at certain points, we're just going to keep him on to let it ride out.
Well, I mean, at that point, right, and again, I don't know, but if you can remove the deal, why not just sign him to a straight-up Windy City Bulls deal? He still gets the same medical care. He still gets the same, you know what I mean? Like, he's still under all the same stuff.
Because they may want to keep – he signed a 2-year two-way deal, and so maybe they do – if they do believe in him, they fear that, hey, if we pull the contract, somebody else could pick him up.
Yeah. No, I guess that's a good point. It definitely goes into what's a strategic move for your future. If you think Justin Lewis is a real part of your future, like a real role player on your bench for the future, you don't want to risk losing him. I think it's tough, though, right? If you get in a situation like you were in last year, right? Some of those two-way guys filled out our roster. Some of those two-way guys got good minutes. Malcolm Hill got good minutes last season. Who was our other two-way? Malcolm Hill. Oh, Marco. Marco got no minutes last season.
No, Marco wasn't a two-way. Marco's a second-round pick. He wasn't a two-way. It was Marco and then the dude I hated. Alfonso McKinney was on the two-way for a while.
Was it McKinney?
McKinney was on the two-way.
The dude I hated. You got to relax with that hate word.
Oh, y'all go check out the video I released on CBC when he was released, bro. Literally. Celebrate Good Times was the song to open that show.
Was Tyler Cook two-way or was he straight up on a 10-day? There was so many 10 days last year.
That's the thing that's confusing me too. There were so many 10-day deals last season.
So I don't remember who all it was, but I know that at least Malcolm Hill, I think, was. Oh, and we forgot Devon Dotson.
He was the other G League deal. Right? Was he a two-way?
No, he was a two-way because he was able to come up and down.
Oh, well, that was the other two-way.
Yeah, but he was from. Is he the last pick from? Is he a AK pick? Or is
he wasn't an AK pick.
Is he a last guard pick?
I don't think he was a pick at all. He was an undrafted.
No, he's a undrafted signee. Yeah. I know that much. But
that would have been the previous regime because he's been in the Chicago system literally since like 2020.
Dang, that's crazy. It's going back that far. But yeah, man. I mean, listen, I would. It sucks to say, right, like about pulling it because of the situation he's in, but I think you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into something where you can't make a move and your roster is left a little bit depleted. But then again, right, like who's on the G League roster that you want to see on the regular season roster? So
that's what I'm saying. And now Marco, because keep in mind, Marco was basically unplayable, even though he was called up. If they are betting on Marco being able to play and contribute a little bit more, they may still keep Justin Lewis on that two-way and figure, hey, listen, if we do have an injury, we do have Malcolm Hill, who is familiar with the system, did contribute some, also had a really good summer league. We may see him stay on that deal.
So now, how does this work? Like, I'm confused now because Marco did get pulled up and down from the G League. So anybody that's on the regular roster,
a rookie, not anybody, but rookies, you can go up and down to the G League. You can be assigned to the G League, I think, until your third year, and then you can deny the assignment to the G League if you're still on a contract.
Okay, yeah. That makes more sense because I'm like, bro, this mother was flying through the G League. Like, he was almost G League MVP. How he was playing last year at times.
But yeah. So that's how that one works. Shout out to Justin Lewis. Hopefully a safe recovery for you, brother. And hopefully you are going to be a Chicago Bull for a very, very long time. Let's go ahead and move on.
I like this game. Game. Hey, before we move on, man, I got an ad read. Y'all ain't heard me read an ad in a minute out here. Hey, Haize was ready to move on. He's about to hit the button.
I forgot. I've been so unused to you having an ad read, bro. It's
you and me both. Magic. That's why I left it popped up here. Hey, let me tell you guys about betonline.net. It's the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information and live in-game betting. Scores and podcasts, they have you covered. Head to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, that's where the game starts.
Dun-dun-dun. All right. Last topic of the day. So Pippin Ain't Easy, which is not an article or website I like to use a lot. They have this article on.
Diss them while we in here.
Listen, bro. Listen, it is what it is, man. I just said I don't like to use them a lot. There are other ones I like to go to.
They're a written version of a lot of YouTube content. It's a lot of speculatory content.
This is true. They have an interesting article on 3 lottery picks that Bulls rookie Dalen Terry will be better than. First up, Ochai Agbaji. Now, I think this is a guy me and you both were kind of high on when we did our draft analysis on him.
We didn't think he got through us.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
So
he didn't.
And he didn't.
Almost though.
He was close. He was close. I was a little Here's the question, because he's the first one. I'm gonna throw the question to you.
Mm-hmm.
If he made it, because we know the Bulls liked him.
Mm-hmm.
If he made it, do the Bulls go Dalen Terry over Ochai Agbaji in that situation?
You know what? It's so hard to read with AK because AK literally will have, like, he's so genuine. He truly makes you believe that whoever they draft was the desired pick. Like, it really, every single time is like, hey man, listen, we were hoping that he was gonna make it to us. We weren't sure that he did. He made it to us. We didn't think we were gonna get a chance to get it. And every GM says that to a degree, but he really makes you believe it.
Yeah.
But I look at it as this. I think if Ochai Agbaji would have been there, because you can't even go youth, because I think Ochai Agbaji may even be a little bit older than Dalen Terry.
He's younger, ain't he?
Is he younger?
I'll look it up.
But Ochai Agbaji has the athleticism and 3-point shooting right now. He also has the wingspan that that AK likes. I think they may have went. Ochai Agbaji is 22 years old.
6'5", 210 pounds. But he basically Dalen Terry.
But 2 years older and a little bit more refined, and that makes sense because he's 2 years older and had more time to refine his game.
Yeah, and he was a guy that played 4 years in college.
Exactly. So I think I'm going to correct my pick. Because Dalen Terry's younger, he's rawer. I think his wingspan is still a little bit longer too. I think they still would have drafted Dalen Terry over Ochai Agbaji.
Okay. So Ochai went 14th overall.
14th overall.
Will Dalen be better than Ochai Agbaji? And I mean, now we've seen a ton of Dalen Terry. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't followed any of what Ochai Agbaji's done in the offseason. Anybody that's not a Bull, I haven't followed pretty much any of what they've done outside of Paolo, mostly because that was a weird reply from DeJounte Murray.
That was very odd.
That was an odd reply. Let's leave it at that. If you know, you know. You gonna do what, DeJounte? Excuse me? You gonna?
Why'd you choose that bar?
Why'd you choose that bar? Oh, duh. I'll never get it. I'll never get it. I felt like Kevin Hart reading that. I heard what you said. Run that back though. Do you hear what you said?
But what are you saying, bro? Is he going to be better than Ochai Agbaji?
I will say, based on what I've seen and the attack that Dalen has shown, I think Dalen, and because what I know AK wants him to do, I think Dalen will have more offensive opportunity than Ochai Agbaji. Just because, I mean, he's going to Cleveland. He's going to be coming off of the bench. I don't even know how much run he's going to get. I would assume he's the guy you eventually want taking over for Karis LeVert.
Yeah, and then he may be what makes them not even worry about re-signing Colin Sexton.
So I would say I'm gonna have to go Ochai in that sit. Well, we're talking whole career. I'll go Dalen over Ochai because of the intangibles we've seen, because of the mentality we've seen. Total career, I guess.
But you're saying you think Ochai is going to have a better rookie season, though?
I think Ochai might have a better rookie season because I think Karis LeVert is terrible off ball.
Okay.
So
fair.
In my opinion, if you move Karis LeVert to the bench, he's more effective.
All right. Next up on this list, Ousmane Dieng. Now, this is a player I was super high on. 19 years old, very raw, came from the NBL, I believe, over in Australia. 19 years old, 6'10", very raw athletic skill. But if he puts it together, this is a guy who got comps from of Karl Anthony Towns. Anthony Davis is the type of comps he got in the draft. Do you think Dalen Terry has a better career than Ousmane Dieng?
That's tough. It's such a tough speculation thing as well, just because it's like they haven't played an NBA game. I don't think Dalen's going to be in that kind of position. Because where did he get drafted to?
He got drafted to the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He's gonna get tick.
But we're talking about better career, not just better first year. Better career.
I'll go better career because players like that. I'll say Dalen has a better career because players like that get lost on teams, and sometimes they get pigeonholed as specific kinds of players when you start your career off on teams like that. It's sad to say, but it's kind of how the league is, right? Like Steph Curry's a spot-up shooter, but he's one of the best three-point shooters in the world.
It's going to be interesting too, like what position does he play? Because while he is tall and he's long, and you probably long term, look at him as a stretch 4 or even 5. I think he may do the thing. You remember Kevin Durant's rookie season, he played shooting guard. I think that Osman may play small forward initially for the Thunder, and then we see him as he fills out, moves down into that forward position.
I could see that, but he's how much he weigh? Well, I guess that don't matter no more because Chet weighs like nothing.
Oh, man, Chet is gonna get cooked. Cooked.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a lottery pick. Dalen Terry might be better than him.
Oh, he's definitely. Osman Jang is 205 pounds. So Dalen Terry weighs more than Osman Jang right now.
That's tough. I'm not buying it. Yeah, I'll give Pippen ain't easy that one too.
All right, cool. Next up, we're going to talk about Shaedon Sharpe, which is the number 7th overall pick, and he went to the Pacers. Oh, this could be something that we actually get a chance to see them actually play and guard each other.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun. I might have. He went to the Pacers.
The Pacers.
Okay. I thought he went to the Blazers. Am I tweaking?
No, he went to Shaedon Sharpe. Went to the was it traded?
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he went
Pacers.
To the Blazers.
Yeah, Pacers.
Okay.
He was drafted by the Blazers, but traded to the Pacers. There you go. Okay. So you were right and wrong.
Okay. Well, I do that often. I might go Shaedon Sharpe on that one.
Listen,
I might go Shaedon Sharpe on that one.
Shaedon Sharpe, 19 years old, 6'6". I think he has another AK wingspan. It was just that's what we're labeling. If your wingspan's taller than your height, it's an AK wingspan.
It's AK wingspan. Yeah.
But like you said, he has that scoring. Like he has come in the league, especially on a team like the Pacers, especially if they also move on from like a Miles Turner and just go full committed to tanking.
Yeah,
he's probably going to ball out.
And I think he might be in a situation where they're kind of building that team very small ball-ish. He might get a lot of run.
I am tripping. He's not on the Pacers. He is actually still on the Portland Trailblazers.
Okay, I knew I wasn't tweaking. I'm like, wait a minute now.
So you were completely right. Haize is, listen, it's been a long week, bro. It's been a long week. I'm looking directly at you know what it is? No, this video that he's being interviewed on. Wait, no, it says it here too. Somebody's wrong on something. So this video he's being interviewed on, it says after workout with the Pacers. Workout with the Pacers. That's why I was tripping.
That'll change it.
Yeah. All right, he was drafted by the Blazers. Woo!
No. That changes everything.
It changes everything.
It doesn't really. I mean, it's the same team. It's just one has Dame, one doesn't.
But he's also now, you're looking at him playing with Jeremy Grant and Dame and Anthony Simons. Those are all players that demand the ball a lot. Is he going to get the chance to score like we've seen him have the ability to?
Now, here's the interesting thing. If I'm not mistaken, and maybe I am, maybe wasn't Shaedon Sharpe having some issues kind of dealing with his teammates as a young fella because they were saying he wasn't working hard enough or he wasn't working like he wanted it, some things like that. I thought I remembered that in Summer League being an issue around Shaedon Sharpe. I think that would be I think talent-wise, Shaedon Sharpe, to me, based on what I've seen of him in his game, I think he has more talent than Dalen Terry right now. Yeah. But talent don't mean nothing without hard work. And I'll tell you what, it's not many people in this NBA that are going to work harder than Dalen Terry.
And that's the thing you want to bet on Dalen Terry more so is because that work ethic. And he's coming in also learning from DeMar DeRozan. And Zach LaVine. I think sometimes too, where this is a me thing. I'm not even saying it. I can't say to anybody else that I also forget. Zach has a heck of a work ethic as well. A lot has been made about DeMar DeRozan, but Zach has a heck of a work ethic as well. So Dalen's coming into that type of culture. Whereas Shaedon Sharpe, even though he has talent and he's coming into a team with a lot of talent, that may actually hurt him because at his position of guard, they're pretty deep at.
True, but I mean, at this point, right? Like, what is he, 6'6"? They have nobody on that team. He's probably your starting small forward on that team, right?
Jeremy Grant. Oh, he's probably going to start at the 4.
He's probably starting at the 4.
Yeah.
So Shaedon Sharp's probably your starting small forward. Like, they don't have a small forward. So he's probably your starting small forward. You traded them all to the Clippers. So he's going to get some run rookie year, I think. And I'll tell you what, Portland has a lot of belief in him. I think now I don't remember that per se, but I do remember there being something around that's like, hey, he's got to do a little bit more. He's got to work a little bit harder. I believe he got hurt his first summer league or first or second summer league game, so he didn't play much in summer league.
He tore his labrum or something in the shoulder. He had surgery on that.
So very
but wait,
early on.
One thing that we're forgetting as well. So you say that, but he has Anthony Simons and clearly Dame on that team, but they also signed Gary Payton II this offseason.
That's true. He's starting?
Gary Payton II? No, I guess
I wouldn't
you're right
start
there.
him over. I wouldn't start him over the Rook.
Nasir
I wouldn't
Little?
start him over the Rook. No. At that point, right? Because offensively, Shaedon Sharp should be able to bring you more offensively, and I think that he's a player that if you look at those names and you go, you start the young kid and hope that he develops into that, right? Like I think Gary Payton's a heck of a defender.
He's amazing.
I'll bring you off the bench to clamp somebody as a 6th man of the year.
Okay.
To me.
They also have Josh Hart on that team.
Josh Hart could start over.
There you go.
Josh Hart could start over.
So it's going to be interesting to see how Shaedon Sharp goes about getting his minutes. He can play the 1, 2, or 3, I think, in this NBA, especially with small ball. But there's going to be quite a few players, and they also got Justice Winslow. He's not starting over anybody.
Josh Hart is a maybe, right?
Josh Hart is a maybe.
Josh Hart is a maybe. Justice Winslow.
If Justice Winslow is starting over Shaedon Sharp,
something went wrong.
Something is terribly wrong.
He's your number 7 pick in the draft. They're supposed to start the season off on the floor.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. So overall,
that's probably the best one.
So we're giving Dalen Terry being better than at least 2 lottery picks.
I think so. Because of opportunity and mentality. I don't know if the things that were being written or reported about Shaedon Sharp were true as far as work ethic, but if they are, then I would pick Dalen Terry over him. But I do think Shaedon Sharp probably is going to have more opportunity right away, and I think he's a more talented player.
All right. Well, there you go.
And then, Dalen Terry drops another 56 on somebody. And like, well, maybe,
Let us know down below what you guys think and who you think Dalen Terry will be better than. But that is it for us for today. Pat, go ahead and send us home.
Hey, before we get up out of here, did it hurt you a little bit when that coach said Pat Beverly sees himself in Dalen Terry? Like, do you really want Dalen Terry to become Pat Beverly? Is that?
I would say I want the aggression. The skill level I hope is way higher than that. But like the confidence, the swag, the aggressiveness on the defensive end, that I'll take.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You know what? Better than talking compared it to that. I hope that a prime when he was still good. If Dalen Terry can turn into a prime Lance Stevenson, I'm good.
Prime Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson been playing the same his whole career, though.
But he had a better impact. Keep in mind, this is a player who at one point averaged 18 points per game, I believe.
True.
He not clamped up, but he played enough defense to frustrate the heck out of LeBron.
He blew in some ears.
Well, you can take or leave that, but
I don't think you can tell Lance Stevenson's story without having that a part.
That is absolutely like if you just show that photo to somebody and they don't know what that's from, then they don't know basketball.
They don't know basketball.
Yeah.
We want him to become Lance. First off,
I'm not saying I don't want him to be. I want Dalen Terry to be way more than that.
Yeah, no.
But I'm saying if he can have that type of impact.
Lance has never averaged more than 14.
14? Okay, yeah, never mind. Scrap that.
Yeah,
Haize is tripping.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and go home. See what happens when we don't stop, bro. When we don't stop the show. See when we should have stopped the show. Haize get to tripping. Let's stop the show.
Hey man, follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. Y'all pray for Haize, man. He having a tough. No, ain't nothing wrong with him. He just having a tough episode today.
Oh man, listen, it's been a day. I can admit when I'm tripping.
Over.
Oh man, not all. I got like 3 more videos to record before I go to sleep today. But thank you so much for making Locked On Bulls your first listen. You can follow me at CEO Haize, CEO Haize. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA, where the Locked On experts break down everything from the latest news, rumors, and developments going on in the NBA in 30 minutes or less. They can be found wherever you get your podcasts. For Pat, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls, and we out. Peace, y'all.